You know what's funny? I had this conversation with
Why don't we hold
Tiny
up?
a minute ago, I believe. Sorry for the detour. We'll get right back to the game in a second. I believe that I'm in the car. I was in Orlando. My brother is driving us back. Oh, heard that. Okay, I understand. Well, I appreciate you being here while you in the mid on while you're on this journey. You know what's funny? Miss Rachel makes so much money. It's disgustingly unbelievable because like she makes so much money, and I was saying that she's on track um to be. This was I haven't looked into this stuff a long time ago. I forgot the analytics. I want to say that it was on Tube Buddy. I think that's what it was called. It was like the analytics thing for YouTube, and it would tell you more. It would tell you like, yeah, I think it was Tube Buddy. Yeah, and yeah, I don't have it anymore. But she was making so much. She has a degree in childcare, and her husband was in Broadway. Yeah, that's literally perfect. It's like just put the shit together. But she was making so much money that I was like, she can be the first billionaire that I know of. Um, a billionaire off of straight revenue. You know what I mean? Yeah, the numbers that I was projecting it off of was off of YouTube and TikTok. I didn't know she was on Netflix, but she could be the first billionaire that I know of. There might be another one, but off of straight revenue. And by that I mean like there are a lot of people there who are billionaires who are billionaires and their money is in assets. Like their money's in the stock market, it's in assets like properties or whatever the deal might be. But it's not like they actually tangibly have that money. They would have to they would have to like sell shares and pull money out of the stock market to be able to actually have that money, and the amount that they would have when they pulled it out would be significantly less than the value of it if they keep it where it is. You know what I mean? So like if somebody could like Elon Musk is a billionaire, but he doesn't have $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he actually has that money. That's his worth based on, if I have a bunch of money in YouTube stock, for example, and the money that I have in there, the amount of shares that I have is worth $500 million. You know what I mean? It's not like I actually have $500 million, but with the money that she was making, I was like, she could be the first person to like be a billionaire and not actually have that money linked to assets at all. Like she could actually just have $1 billion because that's how much money she's making amongst all of the different platforms that she occupies. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. Like I've legitimately never seen anything like it. Because even again, I don't know as much about Miss Rachel as I do like Mr. Beast. Even Mr. Beast has a significant amount of money that he puts but he has companies, right? He has a bunch of different companies that he runs. In addition to that, Mr. Beast also spends a considerable amount of money on his videos. So he could make $30 million a month, but he's putting $29 million into his videos a month or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And then also his money is a lot. He has a lot of money. I'm sure he plays the stock market. I'm sure he has a lot of money in it. A lot of his worth is in the companies that he runs. But Miss Rachel, I don't know. I don't know about her in that regard. I just know that off of the videos that she does and the money that she makes on YouTube and TikTok was insane. Oh yeah, spamming the videos, and she doesn't have to. And on top of that, she has what is called evergreen content. Does anybody know what evergreen content is? It's quite self-explanatory. Does anybody know what evergreen content is? Anybody in the class? Anybody know what evergreen content is? Hmm? It never gets old. Ding, ding, ding. Gold star Disa. Gold star Disa. It never gets old. Thank you. Yes. Grandfather, you as well. You get 2 gold stars. Perfect. Both of y'all. Tiny, Wake up. You're in the back of the class right now with your head down. You got the hoodie on, and you're listening to damn City Girls again. And I told you if I saw you in the back of class, I was gonna call your mom. You're not paying any attention. It's like you don't even try, and you could do so much if you applied yourself, but you sleeping in the back of my class. Okay. Yes, evergreen content is content that lasts forever. People are never gonna not need to be educating their kids. Oh yeah, no, Tiny's on thin ice, the thinnest of ice, and um, yeah. So kids are always gonna be educated. They're gonna need. Hey, leave Tiny alone. I'm gonna take your fucking star away. I'm gonna take your fucking star away. I'm trying to give you praise. Oh man. And she focuses on different ages. She makes content for everybody, and the content is always needed. Think about the manner in which kids are being educated in that style. That's been the same for how long? How long have kids programs looked like Miss Rachel, right? And that sort of, and we sing a little song and then we dance and we spin around, whatever the fuck shit, right? Like that's a thing that's been going on for a long time. So we don't know. There's not really an end goal to that. But Mr. Beast, his videos are based on big spectacle, giveaway, challenge type of thing. I don't know how long that's viable. I'm not saying that it's going to die off in a few months, but it is a stylized type of content that is big right now. Right? It's big right now. So as long as people are having kids, Miss Rachel's content is going to be viable. Once people get tired of the game show philanthropic whatever, or once people decide that Mr. Beast is whatever, he's got whatever, then it goes downhill and the value is not withheld, and it's, you know what I mean? Because think about it, like it used to be the same way with fucking trick shot videos, right? Like when YouTube first started out, it was a bunch of trick shot shit. It was cool to do, you had people doing crazy tricks and what were the people's names? Dude Perfect. They would just go around and fucking launch a basketball off a bridge, 50 fucking stories, you know what I'm saying? And that was cool, and that was the thing, and those guys were giant. But it came and went. It's a stylized type of content. And I'm not talking about whether it's good or bad, but the fact of the matter is it has an expiration date. Whereas Miss Rachel's content is evergreen. Human attention spans have become so short. Yeah. It's definitely a byproduct of the world that we live in. I mean, that's a significant part of the reason why it's sad now, because when I was a kid, I've always been a cinephile, bro. I love movies. I have nobody that I can talk to in real life about movies anymore. I lied. One of RJ's homeboys, my homeboy Naobi, he's one of RJ's homeboys. I can talk to him about movies. Other than that, there's nobody else I can talk to movies about. Whereas when I was in high school, I had a bunch of older homeboys that I could talk to about movies. You know what I'm saying? There was people in the I could talk to about movies. But now people don't watch movies. Kids today, bro, go talk to a 20-year-old, ask them what their favorite movie is. You won't get an answer. I work with some kids that are like in that age range, like they're still in college and shit, like they're from that 20 to 20, 3-ish age. They don't watch movies. You ask them what their favorite movies are, they can't tell you. They can name you their favorite influencers about things, you know what I mean? They can't tell you their favorite movies. The people just don't watch movies. It's just too long. People don't have the time. Well, we have the time, but people are convinced that if they spend 2 hours watching a movie, then that's 2 hours of a million different types of content they could be taking in somewhere else, or content spanning a million different subjects they could be taking it on TikTok. right? So there's always this thing of like, oh, what am I missing out? Also, if I'm not on my phone, if I'm scrolling, I'll get my email notifications. Oops, my sister just texted me. I'm gonna keep scrolling TikTok. Oh, I'm gonna go to Instagram. Let me DM this person back. I forgot to message them back yesterday. Then I'll go back to TikTok, scroll. I wonder what that is. Close out of that. Go to Google. Hey Google, what is it? Da 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 da. Type that in. Oh, interesting. Go back to the video. Click on that video that you were just on. Go to the comment section. See what people are saying. Voice your input. Then keep scrolling. Like, think about how much stimuli we have on a day-to-day basis. On 20 minutes on your phone, how much stimuli there is. It drives people insane to watch a movie for 2 hours. It's like putting them in a straitjacket. People feel like they're being put in a straitjacket. She said, not too much, Disa. I didn't say your name, Disa, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm scared it's going to be bad, and at that point, I'd be mad because I wasted my time. Yeah, but the thing is, to my point, you feel like you're wasting your time. You would only feel like you're wasting your time if there was another thing that you had that was an option that you could spend your time doing. So if you didn't have another option, you wouldn't consider it to be a waste of time, right? But because in your head you're like, okay, I could be doing watching this movie that could possibly not go well, or I could scroll down TikTok and TikTok is inevitably going to entertain me. That's why. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the exact alternative I'm talking about. Yes, like reading a book. What? Holy shit. My dog Mem's in here. Okay. I knew Mem. Dog Mem's. It's a lot of words. I don't know. I think cinema can be error based, but more perspective based as adults. Like children, the child song learning, adults won't watch that by themselves generally. Teenager, college kids like the game show and philanthropy like Mr. Beast has. Adults do whatever they're in the mood for across all spectrum. I think they're all timeless in their own regard. Possible. Huh. Teenage college kids like the game show and philanthropy. Do you think that is something that is now when you say era based, you're talking about like stages of people's lives less you're thinking more stages of people's lives than like chronically the era that we're living in? If that my am I getting that right? Akuma, what's up? Thank you for stopping by, brother. Or sister, I actually don't know. I just know that I just know your name from TikTok, but I don't actually. Good to see you, family. It can be both because people go through different stages at different ages. Some grow up quick. Hmm. Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, I've only been in my early 20s once. I wonder if the game show and the philanthropy thing is. I don't. I wonder if that's something that's. I mean, college kids and teenagers. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the only thing with that, like, I think it's cinema. I'm going back through it because I want to make sure that I'm responding to it. I think cinema can be errand based, but based more on perspective based as adults. Yes, adults won't watch them themselves. Generally, teenager college kids like the game show and philanthropy movies like Mr. Beast do. Adults do whatever they're in the mood for, all across the spectrum. I think they're all timeless. Yeah, the views like the kids will have to watch the kid content, the philanthropy and Mr. Beast stuff. My question is, I don't know if the philanthropy and Mr. Beast stuff is intrinsically tied to that age or that stage of life. Because like I was saying, I feel like, and I might be wrong, but this group of kids that are the group of people that are watching this age group that consumes the majority of Mr. Beast content, I feel like a decade and a half ago, that age group was watching Dude Perfect. And they're two completely different types of content. Like I feel like that same age group was not watching philanthropy, challenge giveaway type of content. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the connecting threads would be amongst those two types of content. I'm not entirely sure. You could be right though. Once a year aware of. That's true. Adult problem. Philanthropy is more adult problem content, which kids can experience. Said I've watched Dude Perfect, but I don't watch Mr. Beast. See, and crippled. Would you say? Hmm. So I'm 27. Are you around my age? You don't gotta tell me your age, but are you within a couple of years or no? The Mr. Beast is like the what if, almost like fantasy. No one has the type of money and can change lives or do dumb shit. Wait, this thing is moving. Okay, hold on. How do I pause this? Okay, I just scroll up, right? Do I? Okay, chat pause due to scroll. Thank you. Okay, cool. Almost like fantasy. No one has this type of money and can change lives or doing dumb shit. Usually, we see rich people staying rich instead of blowing it. We usually see rich people blow it and stay rich, right? I feel like, I guess blowing it in a way that is considerate to others, right? Because we can look at it as like a like a spectacle, like a source of philanthropy that's really based on spectacle and entertainment. So it's like, is it even? We can look at it as a sort of pseudo philanthropy, but at the same time, yeah. I mean, rich people blowing money. Yeah, that's yeah. 23. Okay, that's very interesting for you to be 23 and you've watched Dude Perfect instead. Huh. Okay. Well, I think that kind of shot my entire theory. I think that shot my entire theory. Um, yeah, put yourself in timeout. Thank you very much. I was never taken out of time when I was detained. That's what the ball is called. Yeah, all of y'all. Yeah, ban, 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 block, block, block. Boom, boom, boom. I feel like I watched Dude Perfect because the dopamine. Dude Perfect because the dopamine. Yeah, yeah. Well, like the dopamine. It's funny because Dude Perfect, I can almost view as something that stands the test of time. Because when Dude Perfect was popping off, social media or YouTube anyway was in its genesis, and so the ability to, I feel like as time has gone on, it's almost made the format in which social media exists now, where everything's sort of like short clips. It's faster bait. It's like faster turned content. It's almost like that content does better now because it's more clippable content. You know what I mean? Like it seems like it kind of transitions into today's era of social media very easily because it's just kind of it's something that's easily scrollable. It's easily clippable and scrollable. Um, that's interesting though that you're younger than me and no Dude Perfect. because I don't know much about them at this point. Like, I don't know if they're still around. I mean, I'm sure they still have a presence of some kind, but I just assume that I think of Dude Perfect and I think of early days of YouTube. Do you think people care where Mr. B's money comes from? If people found out his money is dirty, would people care, or it's just about the video or his good image? I don't think people would give a shit. I don't think people would care at all. I think you would have people that would make a, I mean, people still listen to music by people that are quote unquote, they're this or that's, you know. Um, I think it might be contingent upon where the money comes from, but I think he would get canceled more by establishments than he would by viewers. Like, I think if the same way people went after, you know, uh, the way financial institutions were freezing Kanye's assets, or the way that the same thing with uh, you know, people that what are the trafficking people, the Epstein's or whatever. It's like the way financial institutions, or if people say something and sponsors pull out and this and that. I think that type of thing would happen more than people being like, I'm not going to watch his videos. But again, I think it would be contingent upon what happened. I think if it was white collar crime, nobody would give a shit. They'd be like, oh, he stole some money, or he fudged some numbers, or he there's a little insider trading. Nobody would care. Um, I mean, I think it would depend, but I think in most situations, people really wouldn't care. And the thing about Mr. Beast is, Mr. Beast also is financially independent in a lot of senses. So like his money he has companies now, so I guess it has changed as time has gone on. Yeah, he actually has stockholders now, so it's kind of different. He has a lot more tied to him. Whereas if you were to ask me that like a few years ago, I would say it wouldn't really matter, because he's making his own videos off of his own money, and he has a lot of things tied to it. But at the end of the day, it's not as if somebody can stop him from doing it unless YouTube itself were to just deplatform him, or deem he was unfit to throw into the algorithm and then like blacklist him that way, so that his views are cut, by 40% or whatever. Um, yeah, the depth of it is always suspect. The depth of it, I mean, is kind of like, yeah. It gets to the point where one of those things to you, Mems. I think I skipped over it. It's like, yeah, it becomes one of those questions where it gets to a point where you're like, oh, does it matter? I don't know. Does it matter? You want it to be from the kindness of your heart. You want him to be, this warm individual that genuinely cares and he wants to change these people's lives. But if really in the back of his mind, he's like, I'm going to use this person to make money, but it's also giving that person $500,000. Does it really matter? It's like, does it matter? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question. Mr. Beast was original famous YouTuber, competed with PewDiePie, etc., top runner and very long-term content creator. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Beast is a long-term content creator for sure. How long has his content been dominating YouTube? Like, how long would his content be dominating YouTube? Because I know he's been studying it for half of his life now at this point, if not more. But the type of videos I'm asking about, like the shelf life of the type of content that's generating billions of dollars. At this point, I don't enough people would care for him to really lose anything. Yeah, I don't think people would care. I mean, even think about like Dr. Disrespect, for example. Like, all those allegations came out with Dr. Disrespect, and he was being streamers that he used to be quote unquote friends with were coming out and kind of denouncing him. He had come out and said that the whole stuff with the underage girl was that it happened, but it didn't happen the way that we thought. And he was also married at the time, and he had sponsors pull out, and he lost connections with these different brands. But at the same time, that group of individuals, like that are in the Champions Club, his group of his community, they ride for him. And it did not change. And when he would come back and stream, it was the same energy that it was before, where it was fuck all the haters. Fucking, they tried to silence us and we're not going to take it. And you better, and Doc is back and there's nothing you could do about it. That group of people didn't give a shit. You know, that group didn't care at all. So, you know, the thing with social media is when we think of like cancel culture, the whole cancel thing, that's kind of expired in a way. I think the significant amount of your cancelability is how many ties you have to establishments. Actors can get canceled. Actors are the easiest people to get canceled because actors, you getting work is contingent upon your image. You can't be an independent actor. You can't do it. You know what I mean? You're funding, directing, writing, shooting your own movies and acting your own movie. It's contingent upon stockholders. You have to have a group of people who are willing to fund your project. So it's like, if you have a great director who wants to cast this suspect character, stockholders are going to be like, yeah, no, we gave you this money and we have to ensure that you're going to get a return on it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, today on social media, it's harder to cancel influencers because influencers have people, right? Back in the day, when you go and watch an actor, if I were to go and watch Denzel, I would watch Denzel for 2 hours once every couple of years. You know, how often was he putting out movies and how long are the movies? So it's kind of like he's up here, and that's my guy, but he's up here. I don't really know him. Whereas, bro, I've watched every single podcast episode of Bad Friends. So Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, if I were to see them out in the street or go to a show, in my head, I'm like, oh, we're boys. Because I've listened to every single podcast that y'all have done together. So the relationship is different, right? And that's what they say, right? If I'm listening to a podcast or whatever, bro, you're in my room. You know, I listen to you for hours and hours and hours every week. I hear you talk about breakups. I hear you talk about going through addiction. I hear you talking about getting this new movie role, etc. And so once you have people that have that type of connection, they're gonna ride for that person harder than you ever would for any actor 30 years ago. Because that person, you feel like you know them. You feel like you know this podcaster or this TikToker or this, you know what I mean? Because you know more about their life. You see them talk with different types of people. You see them interact on live streams or whatever. So you have more of the parasocial relationship is that much, the bond is that much tighter. I'm so far behind. Okay, where am I? His video started with without money competition, just using scale and viral strategy. Yeah, I think when he was on Rogan, I had watched him talk about it. I don't follow Mr. Beast like that, from on a personal level. I more like track his performance than I do actually tracking him. You know, biggest home, biggest pizza, smallest country. Yeah. I remember the biggest pizza. I think didn't he like rent a warehouse for that? Didn't he like rent a big ass warehouse and they were just they're just pouring sauce. They're spreading sauce on this fucking pizza for days. Okay. Where the money's going. Not about its intention. Like digging wells in Africa was much deeper than money giveaway. Yes. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Makuma says, and he still makes K's every month, even after those things came out. K's M's. He's making M's every month. Akuma, I guarantee he's making M's. He's not making thousands, bro. He's making millions monthly. Millions, without a doubt. Without a doubt, he's making millions monthly. The cancel culture is falling down. I think the first time I remembered myself was canceled Paula Dean. So I think cancel culture only works if their craft is erased, which is very hard, or if people constantly remind them of their wrongdoings. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you have your own, if you're not, if Dr. D will still making M's, you think? Dr. D? Sorry, were you talking about? Oh, I thought we were talking about. Sorry, we're talking about Mr. Beast. Dr. Disrespect, does he still make M's? Annually, probably. Annually, probably. I would say at one point I would have said he was making millions a month. He's probably still making annually making millions. But yeah, grandfather, I think yeah, like the cancelability thing. If you have your own group, social media is just like that. It just boxes everybody into their own groups, and so it's like you don't want to abandon your community. If I know this person and this person's on my feed all day every day, and I tap into their streams or watch their videos or do whatever, you know, it's just us. So there is nobody on the outside to go and try to come in here and fuck up what we got because it's still us. You know what I mean? I don't think that people have less of a desire to cancel people, because I think on the flip side of that, if I hear about something that this person does, but I also don't follow them, so I don't see them all day, every day, if I think that person is a bad person and they pop into my feed one day randomly, I'm gonna become irate because I'm like, how has this thing invaded my circle? How has this thing invaded my curated feed? You know? And the presence of that becomes much harsher. That's why I love the idea of just like I miss follower based feeds, because I follow people who I don't necessarily agree with, and so and as a result, as a way to have conflicting information on my feed at all times and to be exposed to alternative perspectives. That way, when an alternative perspective finds its way into my life, I'm not like, where is this coming from? Who is this dumbass that thinks that, you know what I mean? Like, that's when I know that my feed is becoming a little too direct. When I start to sense a little bit of that. Like, what the fuck did he just say? Why would he say something so? You gotta take a breath and be like, it's because this perspective has been so foreign to me for X amount of time that when it finds its way into my own little, echo chamber, it seems the presence is jarring. I'll never forget when Dr. D switched to YouTube and made 400K in the first 4 hours with just a starting screen. I don't remember if we were in the same place when that happened, but I were we living together at the time? But I definitely remember that. I remember being like, this is insane. I remember being like, this is insane. He was receiving an insane amount of donations and super chats and this and that. He didn't step onto the screen once. The amount of money that we watched him collect just from having the screen up when he transitioned to YouTube after getting kicked off of Twitch. I'll never forget that. He streamed for like 4 hours. It was like 3 or 4 hours. Never showed up. He just had the starting screen and it was super chat after super chat after super chat. The chat was on fire. It was insane. The dog's here. The dog's here. See, my feed is everything I like to hear. It's everything I like to hear, every point of view. That's healthy. Yeah, that's healthy. And Akuma, with you saying that, you're actually in a small group. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody's like that. I would say most people aren't like that. I think there's a convenience. The thing with that is the comfortability that comes with your own echo chamber. If you're constantly faced with opposing perspectives, the problem that people have is that you constantly have to reevaluate. And it's tiring to constantly reevaluate your own perspectives, your own beliefs. It takes a considerable amount of thought, and then you have to go and do more research, and you have to kind of reassess. And people like comfortability, people like knowing, people like having a set of things that they can just cling to and be like, okay, these are my beliefs and these are all true. It makes you feel like you can rest, right? Think about if you're in a ring, like a wrestling ring or a boxing ring, having the opposing perspectives is you, and you're kind of like bouncing off of the ropes and you're moving around and you're spinning around and you're doing whatever. But then you go and bounce off the ropes and you find your way back to the other side. That's you having all like the opposing perspectives. Whereas just clinging to a side and just having your own set of ideas that you'll just live with and base your life off of is just like leaning on the ropes. You're just leaning in the corner. You could take a load off. It's a little less exhausting. You don't gotta constantly be circling around, seeing if anybody behind. You know what I mean? You can just kind of just chill, just hang out. The mixer deal. See the Ninja mixer deal. I was never a Ninja person, and I didn't have mixer, so I don't know how crazy that was. I know it was a huge thing in the community, but I was never a Ninja person, and I didn't have a mixer, so I didn't get to see it from that side. But I do remember that was an earth-shaking announcement. People were losing their minds, and it didn't last long. And then people were shitting on them for that. These are good conversations. They are, memes. They really are. And just to think, it all started while playing the fucking Walking Dead. I don't even know how we got to the point we're at now, to be honest with you. I don't even I don't even know. I don't even know what happened. I think grandfather started talking about Miss Rachel or something, and then it just got out of hand from there, I think that's what it. Yeah, it started with Miss Rachel. Yeah, that's literally what it was. Grandfather started with Miss Rachel, and then it just went to it went to philosophy world. Okay, I'm gonna try to. Okay, it's 11:15. Okay, hold on. I grew up with in a bad neighborhood where if you had the opposing point of view, you had to fight for yourself and a risk of harm. So I'm gonna be different and haven't been closed minded since. I mean, tough lessons to learn when you're young, but vital to the rest of your life. You know, that's one of those things that's integral to the development of a young mind in terms of just being exposed to the reality of that and being shown the value of that. Maybe not even being shown the value because you might not understand the value till years later. But having that challenged is very important, at a young age. Because then you kind of grow up with that in the back of your mind, and you go through life with the back of like always being aware of the fact that there are other ideas, other perspectives, um, and it benefits you. It really sets you apart from many other people because there are many other people that spend their life also unable to learn that, and it makes going through life difficult in a way that they can't even identify because they don't their their brain hasn't identified it as a problem, so it can't be something that they can address. Like there's a lot of people that go through life and just don't know that that's, you know what I mean. Like they might not know that that causes a lot of interpersonal, like a lot of strain on interpersonal relationships or their ability to be in these spaces or whatever, and they don't know it, but because it's just not the way that they were raised, they can't identify it as a concept to even or as a conflict to even address it. Yeah, I think I was just lucky because of my upbringing, very similar. Like my upbringing was chaotic in so many different ways. It was chaotic in so many different ways that I was it was just a crash course to kind of everything at a young age, and as a result, I feel like yeah, I think I was just exposed to so much as a kid that it kind of opened up doors that I wouldn't have been able to open otherwise. But it opened up a fuck ton of doors. So my childhood was absolutely a nightmare. But it was because every door in the house was opened at the same time, and it was just, you know, you're just vulnerable from every angle. But as you grow older, I think you get through that, and then you know, in Taoism they refer to it as becoming as being like a self actualized like an actualized human being, right? Um, to being like superhuman, and not superhuman in like superhuman one word, superpower superhuman, but being superhuman, super hyphen human, you know. um, in the way of like um, um, holistically experiencing the human condition, or like living in that human experience to the fullest. I don't really. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't really put the words together. It's crazy because an hour and some change ago, I was about to call this fucking stream and go to bed, and now here it is, 11:20, and I'm just gabbing, gab. Evergreen timeless video concepts, I think, ties to the infotainment viral strategy. What do you mean by that, Mems? Evergreen timeless video concepts, I think, ties to the infotainment viral strategy. Can you elaborate? Like these people who, like these people who hate people over their point of view is so sad. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's kind of heartbreaking when I see that, because when I see that, I'm like, with some of the event, and I've talked about it on stream again, or a couple days ago, but like with some of the events that took place earlier this week, I was like, you're missing it. You're so caught up in the. You're so caught up in the. You're so caught up on the surface that you're allowing yourself to get caught up in the wind so much that you're failing to realize and keep in mind the fact that we are all just individuals sharing this human experience. And like that's the point. And the point is to have different ideas. The point is to allow ideas to contend with each other, because it's like it's through that where we actually grow and we get closer to maximizing the human experience that we're living, right? It's through that back and forth. People get so caught up, and I'm like, you're missing it. You don't even know. You're not even. You're so far from the thing, you don't even know it, and there's nothing you can do with a lot of them. With 90% of, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta let it. Like, there's nothing you can do. And it breaks my heart to see, because I'm like, you think because somebody doesn't share the same ideas that they're less or something. And it's like, it's so far from the truth. It's the exact opposite. Is we need each other in that way. We need each other in that way. We need for ideas to contend for each other. We need to maintain room for diverse perspectives. Like it's essential. It's essential to growth. It's essential to ward off stagnation. It's an inevitable part of that. This doesn't work without that. It doesn't work. Information plus entertainment is what made the best teachers growing up. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Mems, it's funny because just the other day, I was talking to myself. I was on the way home, and I was thinking, I was like, it's so interesting because you see this. I think I would watch the video of what's his name, Charleston White, and it's funny. Like I was thinking, I was like, yeah, nobody wants to like. Most people don't want to be educated. A lot of people want to have education, have information, but a good amount of people don't want to be educated. I'm trying to make sure that I'm communicating this right. I think the act of being educated is sort of this. It's a humbling perspective you have to take in terms of putting yourself in a student position, and a lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people, sometimes it makes people feel inferior, and of course it's contingent upon the way it's done and who's doing it and when it's being done. But there are a lot of people who don't want to be educated, right? They don't want to assume that role, and they don't want to feel like they're being talked at or whatever the deal might be. But a lot of people, most people, want to be entertained, And so it's like, it's interesting, the relationship between educating and information, between educating and entertaining, And I feel that I feel like most of the people who don't want to be entertained or don't want to be educated, quote unquote, feel the value of the education. And so it makes them feel better. But the education a lot of times has to come under the guise of entertainment, right? Which is, I think, why people can't shake themselves of Michael Jackson, regardless of what he does, because it was, or what he quote unquote did, because of the education within the entertainment. I think that's why people love Dave Chappelle so much. It's because of the education through the entertainment. You know, insert favorite writer, insert favorite like that. That's why Dostoevsky and Tolstoy. That's why these people are heralded so much in American literature. Not even American literature, but in literature, is because it's the education through entertainment. I think people feel internally the value of the education, but the entertainment it's just the coating on the pill that it makes it swallow. It makes it swallowable. When you're a kid, you needed the flavored pills. You couldn't just take a damn Advil; it tasted bad. So you had to get the strawberry coated, acetaminophen, and you're like, oh, this is my headache's gone. This is great. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a household that valued philosophical thought, in conjunction with parents of different religions. It demanded open-mindedness. A good book to read is The Cost of Conviction. It discusses the dangers of closed-mindedness and staunch opinions. I'll have to add that to the book. I don't remember being told about that one by Mom and Pops, or by Pops. The Cost of Conviction. I'm going to have to add that to the list. They got it on Audible? Let me see if they got it on Audible. Let's check to see if we got that on Audible. Did we have that? The Cost of Conviction. The Cost, I can't even fucking spell my vision. The Cost of Conviction by Stephen Sloman. We got it. And I got hella credits. Oh my God, I have 11 credits. Have I not been reading this year? Okay, well, the last 3 books that I read were audiobooks that I found on YouTube. But I did fall off of my 1 book a month thing. The process of education is uncomfortable. People prefer comfort. I think that's what you're getting at. Yeah. Hot Topic is a certain community that likes to force their ways down your throat. I'm sad to say I'm part of the community, knowing how it used to be, to see how violent it is now. Hot Topic? The only Hot Topic I'm aware of is the store. Is that what? That's not what you're talking about, is it? I feel like Hot Topic is a certain community. That can't be what you're talking about, is it? It likes to force their ways down your throat. I'm sad to say I'm part of the community, knowing how it used to be, to seeing how violent it is now. That's not what you're talking about, is it? Not the clothing thing? Yeah, comedians are the best educators in the land. Yeah, I mean, they're the modern day philosophers, right? Their job is social commentary. It's social I won't say that, because there's a lot of different types of comedy, and there's comedies where there's many types of comedy where it doesn't actually include it. But I feel like the ones that etch themselves into our brains in a meaningful way are those who are able to capture how we're feeling and say it indirectly. Right? They're able to capture the emotions of people in a specific place at a specific time. That's why on the comedians, that's why it bothers me so much when people go back and when people were going back and trying to cancel comedians for shit that they had said 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, for that exact reason. Because the thing is, as a comedian, you are doing well in your job if people resonate and are laughing. Right? Like if they feel some sort of connection. Maybe they don't agree, but if they feel connected to the subject that you're talking about, they can see if they're like, yeah, they might not believe it, they might not agree 100%, but I feel like a comedian that people are connecting with is somebody who is able to efficiently resonate with what's going on currently in that society. And so when people are going back and canceling, trying to cancel comedians when they were trying to do that years back, I was like, oh, that's disgusting to me, because it's easy for you to go back and say Martin Lawrence is bad because he said this in 1994, but you're not going to go talk to your uncle and tell your uncle that he's a piece of shit like you're doing to Martin Lawrence, because your uncle was at the show and your uncle was laughing because it reflected how people felt. It reflected how people thought and felt. But it's easy for you to attack this one person and say that this one person is bad, because then you don't have to also acknowledge the fact that that was the climate of that time period. And that's what people found entertaining, and that's how people felt, and these were the subjects that people were talking about. I feel like it's incredibly disingenuous, and I feel like it's just a cheap way to analyze human history, because that's what I think it is. I think that comedians are they're the thermometer of a specific place and time. Podge doesn't have this one. I read it 2 weeks ago. Does Audible count? What do you mean, does Audible count as reading? If it doesn't, then I haven't read shit in years. If it doesn't count, I mean, that's how I read the majority of my books. The things that I read, actual physically go through book and read, are comics. That's really it. Most of everything else is Audible. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So I mean, it's like, does Audible count as reading? I mean, what's the point of reading? Like, is the point of reading to obtain information? Like, is it going through written word to obtain information? Like, what is the point of it? If you can find a point of reading that differs from what I'm able to accomplish listening to it, then maybe it doesn't count. But I can't think of I can't think of I can't think of one that, yeah. I mean, a touchy topic because of how fast they will attack somebody who thinks different. Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's a disconnect between hearing a book and reading a book. I feel like the recall is less reliable and the connection with the author is less than when heard. But that's a personal opinion, not a fact. I feel like there's a disconnect between hearing a book and reading a book. I feel like the recall is less reliable. Yeah, I think that's contingent upon individuals. I think that varies from individual to individual. Because I know a lot of people who can't listen to audiobooks because they can't listen to audiobooks, because it just turns into background noise as they go through life, right? But I'm not a person, for example, who has a TV on in the background just to have a TV on. I'm not a person who scrolls or whatever just for the sake of scrolling. So the stimuli that I get is stimuli that I pay attention to. So when I'm listening to an audiobook, it's a meditative thing where I'm consciously focusing on it, and it's not being used as a background sort of, this will keep me company as I do other things. It's like, no, that's the focus of what I'm doing, and I just so happen to be taking out the trash or making breakfast. So it also depends, because at the same time, you know about my affinity for music, and I was an audio engineer for years. So my main mode of receiving information is audibly. Like, I can see things and I can be entertained visually. I'd rather be entertained visually, but if it comes to receiving information, I need to hear it. Like, I need to hear it. That's the reason I can listen to podcasts without watching a podcast, right? Where a lot of people can't do it. That's the reason I like Audible, because one, it's a productivity thing where I like to be able to go around and do whatever. Like, I have a lot of shit to do. I'm a busy person, and I like to be able to listen to it while I'm in the gym, or listen to the book while I'm running, or whatever. But also, that's where the information sticks with me, is hearing it. So, wait, low key Audible does count. At first, I thought it didn't until I started driving 2 hours of clinicals. That's when I started listening to audiobooks because I didn't have time to read. So I had to spend the drives listening to Audible. Yeah, I think it was the same for me. I think it started as a time saving thing, And then for me, I think my I learned to prioritize audio in a way that I didn't before. So it went from being like a secondary receiver of stimuli to being my primary mode of stimuli. It's hearing things. I do better hearing it than reading it. I didn't have to. I wanted to because I love reading. I just didn't have the time to read because of the school. Synesthesia, yeah, boy. I do have synesthesia. The first time you explained to me what you see when you hear things, I was like, yeah, brain damage. You know what? You know what? Everybody, I'm putting Tiny in timeout. It's his age. Fuck! Don't piss me off. Like, we were doing so well. We were doing so well. It's his age. We were doing so well. It was mind blowing, actually. Y'all can both go to ISS together. How about that? I got two desks with your name on it in the back of class over there in the corner. Y'all can go. Y'all can go. Actually, y'all split up. So you're gonna sit on one. You know what? Matter of fact, y'all staying. No, y'all staying after school. Y'all are staying after because you can't be in the class. Y'all have proven to be a distraction for all the other students. So y'all gonna have to stay in after school. And instead of going over there to the movie theater, because y'all know y'all was gonna go over there and watch the movie, now you're gonna stay here with me in an empty classroom. And if I hear a noise, oh boy, if I hear a noise, oh, I swear to God, if I hear a noise. One of us has to be able to be in here to make fun of him. I stayed in ISS my whole school years. Dang, you must have been with Tiny and Decent. Where's Logan? She doesn't get put in timeout. She can stand in for us. I can't. Where is Logan? Was here earlier. That's funny. She was here earlier and said she was gonna come back. But you know that's what she be doing. Logan real. Logan pops in. Yeah, she's looking for the fresh market. Yeah, Logan pops in to say what's up, and then she's gone in 5 minutes. That's typically how. That's funny. I'm literally taking a picture of that. That's funny. That's actually hilarious. Oh my god. That's actually hilarious. But yeah. Okay, can we go back to the game? Should we go back to the game or should I just call the stream now? Should I just call the stream now? Cuz we've been at it for 4 hours. The choice is I can either finish this chapter, I can finish this little F that game boring. I don't even know how you're talking from ISS. Like I don't even know how you're talking from ISS. Now you got double ISS. How about that? I'm crippled, so I had to bully the bullies. Hey man, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta let them motherfuckers know what's up. Fuck them bullies, man. Sometimes you gotta let them know what's up. That you're not to be played with. What does Akuma mean? Is that a thing I should know? Demon? Hmm. In Japanese, Akuma generally means devil, demon, or evil spirit. Ew. Interesting. How do I not know this? It refers to a malevolent supernatural being and is used in various cultural contexts such as folklore, Buddhism, and Christianity, as well as in modern Japanese pop culture. Kenzo! My dog Kenzo. Kenzo, you missed it. We've been in here philosophizing and fucking You know, it has been a long chat. I was literally Kenzie. I was literally almost got off like 2 hours ago. I was about to get off the stream 2 hours ago, and then we've been philosophizing for the last 2 hours, and now I'm here at midnight. I was gonna go to bed at 10:30. 10:30 was gonna be my bedtime. I was gonna wake up in the morning and go and run before I went to work. How'd I avoid is till adulthood? This is so backwards. What? How'd I avoid ISS till adulthood? This is so backwards. Um, what had happened was ain't nothing about this man. Ain't nothing young about this man. Kenzie, she really pisses me off. If there was a way, you know what I would like to do? I would like to throw you in a pool full of crocodiles. Guys, there was a time Mo would die if he didn't go to bed at 9 p.m. Yeah, those were better times. My life was better then. There was a time where I would literally die if I didn't go to bed at 9 p.m. There was a time where I would get sick because I would wake up every day at 6:30, 7 o'clock without an alarm. There was a time where if I went to bed past 10 p.m., like if I went multiple days in a row, only getting like 6 hours of sleep, I would get sick. Day 3 or 4, I would get sick. Not even exaggerating. I was an 8-hour sleeper my entire life until a year ago. And a year ago changed it. I think it was that last semester of undergrad, or the second to last semester of undergrad. Because that's when I was finishing the documentary, and I was finishing a documentary and I was living in the film studio all day, all night long, and I was living off of a diet of Adderall and energy drinks. I think within the span of a month, I was probably averaging 4 hours of sleep a night. My sleep schedule was all fucked because I would go to work and I would be at work all day and then come back and be in the film lab editing until 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I would go home and sleep for a few hours and then be at work at 10:45. I was doing that for like a month and a half, and it fucked me up. And since then, I haven't been, for the last year after that, I haven't been sleeping. I haven't been able to get 8 hours. Not consistently. It just means you were meant to play Fortnite tonight. Shoo, I don't know about that one, Kenzie. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Kenzie. Did you just get home? Oh, it is a Saturday, huh? No, it's a Sunday. I'm on Japan time because my duo some up at 5 a.m. to like 1 p.m. Then 1:30 is bedtime. Wait, what? I'm so confused, Akuma. I'm so confused by that. So you basically just had to push through it. Addy and energy drink. Yeah, Addergy and energy drink, that combo was crazy. I thought I was fucking Bradley Cooper in Limitless. I thought I was Bradley Cooper. I thought I was in there bitch seeing through walls. I was like, bro, I fucking know everything. I know literally everything. I can see through these walls. I thought I was Bradley Cooper, bro. Oh, you went. That's right. Yeah, I forgot. You went to Sunset Sessions. Yeah. Get the calendar and the sticky notes, guys. He's losing days again. I'm gonna get. I went to Sunset Sessions. How was that? How was Sunset Sessions? I'm in NA now, but my duo lives in Japan. Does anybody know what his duo means? I don't get it. I'm so confused. He's sundowning. I got home at like 7:45 and went there for a few hours. Sundowning is what the fuck does sundowning mean? What the hell is sundowning? People are laughing. I'll tell you something. People are laughing and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that everybody's laughing at this. What the hell is sundowning? Fucking look this shit up. They're starting to piss me off. Is a set of dimension Have I ever told y'all that I hate you? Have I told y'all how much I hate you? Oh my god, I'm so pissed off right now. I'm so fucking pissed. Sundowning. Oh, I'm so pissed off right now. Sundowning is increased confusion that people living with Alzheimer's and dementia may experience dusk through night, also called sundowner syndrome. It is not a disease, but a set of symptoms or dementia related behaviors that may include difficulty sleeping, anxiety, agitation, hallucinations, pacing, and disorientation. Although the exact cause is unknown, sundowning may occur due to disease progression and changes in the brain. Long story short, I hate all of you.
Stay with us.
That's the bottom line. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate it here. I fucking hate it here. Oh my god. I'm never streaming again. This is my last fucking stream. Oh my god, now I'm all hot, bro. I'm never fucking streaming again. God damn it. Oh. Oh. Oh man. I just mind my own business here and it doesn't it doesn't matter. Maybe I gotta scroll all the fuck way back up. Oh, where are my gaming partner duo? Sorry, I couldn't tell if that was another word for like a significant. I don't fucking know. Forgets things. People with their condition, they're lucid and they start to lose consciousness. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Mo told me he hated me every day for a year. Shut up. Am I gonna be like this at 27? Ah. Be so pissed you get on for a few Blitz games. Oh my god. You give Ken's what she wants. She deserves it. We'll see him Tuesday. Don't worry. He'll forget about all this. Oh my god, that hurts so bad. I will forget all of this by Tuesday, but this is actually insane the amount of bullying that takes place in here. And frankly, I deserve better. And I don't need to go. I don't need to take this. Frankly, I don't need to accept any of this. Oh my god, that hurts so much. My face actually hurts. Oh my god. My face actually hurts. Oh, I can't even put my glasses back on. I'd rather be blind. Hopefully, if I take my glasses off, I can't see what the hell the chat is saying. That's my hope. I'm taking my glasses off so that I can't see what the chat is saying. Hopefully, fingers crossed, one can only hope. I'm trying to stop making jokes. I've been sitting in here minding my own business, and I just get attacked mercilessly by this group of individuals, and it's absolutely insane. It's actually insane how much I mind my own business. Sundowning, really fucking business. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I don't know. Blinded forget. Fuck. Now you got Akuma on it too. You know what? This is fucking bullshit. This is bullshit. Oh my god! Not you two. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Oh my god. That's what I was dealing with last night at work. I got flashbacks from listening to you. Bullying is love. You know what they say? Bullying is love. You know, when they say that, it's funny how they often say that to the people getting bullied. Yeah? It's always a person getting, take it. It means they love you. Don't laugh at Akuma. Don't laugh at him. Cataracts don't laugh at that either. You know what? I'm carrying on with the game.
We'd like the company.
Everybody shut up and enjoy it.